Hello everyone. So few days back, or I think it was last week or maybe 2 weeks back, I made one video where I mentioned that I am going to start an open source project. Now today I thought I'll probably share what kind of open source project uh, we want to start. Now, if you watch my videos or if you know me, I'm sure you know that I am a consultant and I provide consultation around Atlassian tools, mainly Jira. And Jira is a great tool. I love working on Jira. Jira has uh, given me a lot. I've built my career around Jira consultation. But at the same time, Jira is, of course, not really perfect. And there are some issues with Jira. And I know that Jira is a market leader. I think 85% of the market has been captured by Jira. And it is, to be honest, not a great thing. And I don't really think one tool or company should have dominance when it comes to issue tracking or a tool for some kind of project management. And there are alternatives when it comes to Jira. So if you are trying to use a tool for collaboration, project management, issue tracking, there are tools. Monday.com, Tuesday.com. I'm not really sure if there is something called as Tuesday.com, but there are a lot of tools. Now the thing is, if you look at all those tools, these tools are nothing but basically a web interface with some features. And many people have tried building their own Jira alternative or a tool for issue tracking, project management, but they're all same when it comes to, because if you are trying to compare Jira with another tool, or if you're trying to make a competitor of or become a competitor for Jira, you will of course build a tool that will have some features, right? And there is nothing wrong with all of this, but because I'm a consultant and I have been in this industry for a long time, almost not almost 2 decades. So I think we can do something about it. Now, of course, Jira. When I say that Jira is the industry market leader, and it is actually true because there is no other tool like Jira. Jira is configurable, Jira is feature rich, and Jira is improving regularly. I mean, Atlassian is adding new features to Jira, but I think no one is trying to solve the problem of the missing things in Jira or gaps in Jira. For example, Jira has some issues like Jira is these days Atlassian is focusing for a cloud first approach, and Jira is of course not really open source, which is probably fine, but at the same time uh, Jira is not API first. Jira is not I mean, configuration management is a problem in Jira, and you are not really able to easily import and export data. And when it comes to the interface is of course not really great. It is okay. It is not really great, to be honest. And people always complain about Jira for a variety of reasons. Now the thing is that of course, if someone has to build a tool, then you can't really compete with Jira by building a tool with n number of features. I mean, you may be able to build something great, but it will, because Jira is dominantly used in the industry, it is very difficult for a new tool to enter. Uh, and I was thinking that maybe we can do something about it. It might not happen immediately, but it can definitely happen soon. I mean, I'm sure if you have to build a tool that will cover the good things in Jira and other tools, but at the same time, it will also answer those missing things or gaps. But at the same time, we should also have an agreement on, if we have to build this new tool, we also have to have an agreement on some fundamentals. And The tool that, and yes, so the open source project would be on building this tool. We are not really saying that it will be a Jira competitor. It will basically be a competitor for any other tool in the similar domain, but it will be a unique tool because, or we think it would be a unique tool because, first of all, we want to build this headless. So basically, what will happen? Of course, in this video, I might not be able to explain it thoroughly, but I'll just give you some pointers so that you can relate to it, and I will also ask you how you can help me if you want to help me or if you want to be part of this. So basically, this tool would be headless, and the way it would work, let us say you want to create a new project in Jira, or not Jira, but this tool. I keep saying Jira because that is what I do quite regularly, but this tool would be configurable headless, where you will define your configurations in some JSON YAML format, and then you will uh, basically start or boot your instance, and you will basically have those configurations. Imagine that you create your configurations using a YAML file where you will say that, okay, in this particular, I want this workflow with these configurations, I want these fields, and so on and so on. And because this would be headless, we want to detach the core functionality or the functionality uh, from the UI. So not only it will be headless, it will be API first. So anything that is possible with the tool, it will be API first. So you will be able to use any UI. For example, we are thinking that we will have a UI for Slack or some commands for Slack. We will of course have a web interface along with mobile app, but we will also have plugins for Teams, Slack, and other softwares. So you're not really bound to use the web interface, and you can also build your own, or maybe you can integrate this tool with any other tool, right? Because we want to focus on the configuration management. And when I say configuration management, it is something very important. In Jira, it is very difficult to deploy. Let us say you are maintaining a Jira instance where you have a staging environment and a dev environment, maybe a production environment straight away. So let us say you have to create a new workflow. So you will do those changes or whatever configuration. It could be a script, by the way. You will do those changes on dev, test it on staging, and then you will promote it to production. I know there are some, now it is possible to promote the configurations, but it is not really there yet because Jira is not API first. So you can do few things. You can promote some changes using API, but not really each and everything. So this is something that we want to answer. This will be the fundamental core functionality of the tool, configuration management. Like configuration can be managed using code. Remember those YAML files. The other thing is we also have to answer those ongoing changes. So let us say as of today, we have some configurations like version 1. After 2 months, you add a new status in the workflow. So we should be able to do it, but at the same time, because it is code first approach, we also want to give the users or the admins the ability to roll back without breaking anything. So basically, whenever this system boots up, it will read the configuration as it is, and it will also preserve the previous information. So we can always go back in time in terms of configurations, also of course the data as well. And we also want to answer the import export. So whenever you're using this tool, we want users to be able to export the data in a format which is readable, and you can import it back. And of course, we also have like other plans, like we want to make this like a service-based, microservice-based platform where we will have a core and you will have different services, and those services will interact with the core, and we can actually individually scale up those services. For example, maybe you want to scale up a certain functionality or a certain element, for example, like the reports. So basically, we have some plans, and the thing is that initially we were thinking to do it ourselves, maybe get funding, and because you need money and time to do this, but now we are more inclined towards open sourcing it so people can participate, and we have built something. Of course, this project is not really open source yet, but we will of course release it when we think we are ready. But if you think you are getting what I'm saying, reach out to me, and I would love to involve you. And I think we are doing it. Of course, I mean we are not really sure about the future of how this will shape up, but we are also open to ideas. For example, we might keep it as open source. We want to actually keep it as open source, but we also need to pay our bills. So we might think about how we can earn money from doing all this. I know you can also make money from open source tools and products. There are a lot of ways of doing it, and I'm not really massively clear on those things. But the thing is that we want to solve this problem, and all these problems and challenges that are there with other tools, and we want to ideally make it as an open source project so that we can do something for everyone. And of course, we need help, and we really want to do this because I think this is a problem. And let me know if you want to participate. All right, that is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed watching this video and you learned something new. Thank you very much. Bye bye.